Now to an amazing deep-sea discovery. The crew of a high-tech research vessel just found the wreckage of the
Ocean closes in fast. Light disappears first, then color, then sound. At 17,000 feet, the deep sea stops behaving like the world we know. The pressure here is brutal, more than 7,500 pounds per square inch, strong enough to crush steel like paper. Nothing delicate survives, nothing human remains. That is what the experts believe. Now a deep-sea drone sinks through the black, its lights still off, conserving power. Minutes pass, then hours. The cable hums softly as it feeds data back to the surface. No one speaks. Everyone is waiting for confirmation of what they already expect. Debris scattered across the seabed, a broken skeleton, another ship erased by time. The lights switch on. At first, there is only emptiness, flat seabed, fine sediment drifting like smoke. Then the camera tilts slightly, and a massive shape begins to form. Straight lines, sharp edges, too clean. This is not rubble. The drone glides closer. The scale becomes clear. The outline stretches far beyond the frame. A flight deck, a tower, a warship standing upright where it should not be standing at all. On the surface, seasoned engineers lean forward. Some stop breathing. This is no longer a search. It is a confrontation. Because wrecks do not sit like this. They do not wait. They do not feel intact. And yet, down here in the crushing dark, something refuses to collapse. The drone inches forward, about to cross the edge of the deck. What it is about to reveal will force experts to abandon everything they thought they understood about decay, pressure, and time itself. And the first object it sees should not exist at all. The drone rises slightly, clearing the edge of the deck. That's when the first impossible detail appears. A gun. Not twisted, not torn loose, still locked in place. A 1.1-inch anti-aircraft gun sits exactly where it was mounted more than 80 years ago. Its barrel points outward, frozen mid-defense, as if the crew might return at any moment to resume firing. The metal is scarred but whole. Bolts still grip steel. Casings lie nearby, undisturbed. This is not how wrecks look. At this depth, the sea should have crushed the mount flat. Corrosion should have eaten it down to fragments. Instead, it stands firm, silent proof that something down here works differently. The drone drifts forward. Another gun appears, then another, each one locked into position, each one aimed as if the battle never ended. On the surface, the room tightens. These are not random remains. This is order, purpose, the final shape of a ship still holding its line. Then the camera dips. Parked neatly along the deck is something even harder to explain. A small vehicle, upright, square, intact.
An aircraft tug, the kind used to haul bombers across a flight deck. Its wheels rest flat against the steel, as if someone parked it there and planned to come back after the alarm passed. But no one ever did. Salt water should have erased it. Pressure should have flattened it. Time should have claimed it. Yet here it is, waiting. The experts now understand something unsettling. This is not just preservation, it is suspension, as if the moment of disaster never fully finished unfolding. And the drone has only just begun moving. Because ahead, resting farther down the deck, is something far larger, something with wings. The drone slips past the edge of the deck and toward the ship's island structure. This is where order should end. Inside a sinking carrier, chaos rules. Fires spread, bulkheads fail. Everything loose is thrown, smashed, erased. That is what history teaches. The camera enters anyway. Its lights cut through the darkness and stop. A jacket hangs from a hook, not tangled, not floating, hanging. The fabric still holds its shape, pressed gently against the steel wall, as if the air never left the room. Nearby, a wash kit lies open, a small mirror, a toothbrush, personal items placed with care, not dropped in panic. These are not relics of a ship. They are traces of lives interrupted. The drone moves deeper. Bunks line the walls, storage lockers stand closed. This was not just a war machine. It was a home, crowded, loud, and alive. Now it is silent. At this depth, decay slows to a crawl. The water is near freezing. Oxygen is scarce. Bacteria struggle to survive. Time down here does not behave like time on the surface. The experts now understand why the Hornet looks the way she does. The deep sea did not preserve her gently. It locked her away. Then the camera tilts upward. Painted faintly on the steel, still readable, is a single marking, the number 8. There is no doubt anymore. This is not just a carrier. This is USS Hornet CV-8. The room on the surface goes quiet, because the story has shifted again. This is no longer about finding a ship. It is about confronting the exact moment when 140 men never came home. And to understand how they ended up here, the story must move backward, into the fire of 1942. The steel walls fade into memory. The year is 1942.
USS Hornet is no ghost yet. She is new, fast, loud, an 824-foot aircraft carrier built for a war that hasn't fully revealed itself. Her deck smells of fuel and salt. Her crew moves with purpose, not knowing how little time they have. 16 months. That is all the life the Hornet will get. Her first mission is almost unthinkable. 16 Army B-25 bombers sit on her deck, planes never meant to fly from a carrier. Too heavy, too long, no chance of returning. It is a one-way gamble. The morning comes. Engines scream. The deck shakes. One by one, the bombers lift into the air and head for Tokyo. For the first time, Japan is struck at home. The damage is limited, but the message is not. The war has changed. 2 months later, the Hornet sails into another turning point, Midway. Her aircraft join the attack that sinks 4 Japanese carriers in a single day. The balance of the Pacific War tilts. The cost is high, but the outcome is decisive. Then comes exhaustion. The Hornet is sent south to the Solomon Islands, often the only American carrier in the region. Her pilots fly non-stop. Sleep is rare. Mistakes are deadly. The ship is worn, but she keeps moving. Until October 1942. At the Battle of the Santa Cruz Islands, the sky fills with enemy aircraft. Bombs fall, torpedoes strike, fire spreads. The Hornet is hit again and again. Still, she refuses to sink. But history has already decided what the deep sea will one day preserve. And the final moments are far more violent than the wreck suggests. October 26, 1942, the Solomon Islands. The Hornet burns. Flames lick her deck. Black smoke clouds the sky. 3 bombs, 2 torpedoes, 16 other hits have torn holes through her hull. The roar of explosions mixes with the cries of men racing to save what cannot be saved. Her crew fights heroically. Steel groans under the weight of the damage. Guns fire, engines struggle, and yet the ship floats, stubborn as ever. Destroyers circle, firing rounds meant to finish her off. Still she resists. The legend refuses to die. But the sea is patient. Japanese torpedoes find their mark the next day. The Hornet slips beneath the waves, taking 140 men with her. On the surface, survivors watch in disbelief, barely able to reconcile the heroism they witnessed with the loss. Decades pass, stories become whispers, coordinates are forgotten, logs scattered. Many assume she is lost for good, swallowed by the vast, unforgiving Pacific, until technology begins to rewrite what was thought impossible. Enter the RV Petrel and its team, guided by the late billionaire Paul Allen's vision. Advanced sonar scans, autonomous underwater vehicles, and decades of archival research converge. Every logbook, every report, every survivor recollection is analyzed. Hundreds of square miles are narrowed to a probable search box. One mistake, one miscalculation, and the Hornet's ghost remains hidden forever. And then, in the abyss, the first anomaly appears on sonar. Upright, massive, man-made. Not a shadow, not a ridge, something waiting to be discovered. The team's hearts quicken. The drone begins its descent. What it finds will bridge history and the present, and for one survivor, it will open a door he thought was closed forever. On the surface, 95-year-old Richard Nowowski sits quietly. Once an 18-year-old gunner's mate aboard the Hornet, he never imagined he would see his ship again. Not like this. Not in full clarity, frozen in the abyss. The first video feed reaches him. The drone's lights cut through darkness 17,000 feet below, revealing the flight deck. A battered 5-inch gun mount appears, its barrel pointing defiantly outward. Richard's eyes widen. He leans closer. His voice cracks. "That's where I was." Every dent, every scar, every scorched bulkhead sparks a memory. Armor-piercing bombs tearing through the decks. Plink, 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 the sound of shells shearing metal before the terrible explosions. The chaos, the heat, the fear, the courage. It is not just a wreck, it is a time capsule of human endurance. The drone captures the tug, the Wildcat, the jacket still hanging, a wash kit open, remnants of lives frozen in place. Richard sees it all, and for a moment history stops being abstract. It becomes vivid, tangible, and achingly real. Yet even in this somber reconnection, Richard's humor shines. He smiles at the crew. "If you go down to my locker, there's $40 in there. You can have it." His words echo across generations, a reminder that even amid death and destruction, human spirit survives. Below, the Hornet rests silently. Above, the last living voices of her crew are stirred. For families, for historians, for those who never sailed aboard her, the discovery provides something that was long overdue: closure. But the story does not end with memory. Respect, law, and ethics now guard what lies beneath. The Hornet sleeps. 77 years in the abyss have left her eerily intact, a monument of steel, courage, and tragedy. The deep sea has preserved not just a ship, but a moment frozen in time, a battle never fully finished, lives interrupted, and bravery unforgotten. International law now watches over her. The Sunken Military Craft Act ensures this site is a war grave, untouchable, sacred. No salvage, no disturbance, only remembrance, only respect. The discovery is both awe-inspiring and unsettling. Humans can reach the deepest parts of the ocean, shine lights on history, and capture it in ways never before imagined. And yet, seeing what lies beneath forces a question. Just because we can, should we? Every artifact, the folded wings, the tractor, the jacket, The wash kit reminds us that these were real people. Their stories cannot be fully told through metal and rust. The Hornet is not just a relic, she is a mirror. She reflects heroism, sacrifice, and the human cost of war back to the present. The drone rises slowly, leaving the flight deck behind. Darkness returns. The abyss swallows the steel giant once again. For now, silence reigns. But history is patient, and so is the ocean. There are still stories waiting, shadows of the past that no one has seen, ones even the Hornet cannot tell, at least not yet. The screen fades to black. The legend sleeps, but the deep sea is never done revealing its secrets.